So, dear listeners, you may not realize this, but on the day that we are recording this, it is the 4-year anniversary of the first episode of Aboard the Opal Star.
Woo!
We've been doing this for over 4 years, which is nuts, considering this was supposed to be mini campaigns with different DMs, and I still have not finished my story. I just kind of took over and said, it's mine now.
You know, that's fine, I think.
I mean, we're still having fun, right? I mean, I'm traumatizing the hell out of some of your characters, but we're still having fun, right?
Yeah.
No, I hate this. I keep coming back because of a contract that I signed.
That's what happens when you sell your soul. I mean, I warned you up front, Shan. I warned you what you were getting into.
Yeah, but I don't listen.
That sounds like a skill issue.
That's not my problem. So, since it's been a while since we started this most recent story arc, I figured it'd be nice to go on a little trip down memory lane, going back to the first time Stavios and Belle, who we still forever miss. I hope Blake is doing cool. Well, sounds like Blake is doing great. I need to check in with him though, see how he's doing. But when our characters first met up with their new friends in the most awkward, passive-aggressive, no, I think you should leave moment that I've ever seen, and it was delightful.
Yep.
It was delightful. That was so much fun to edit.
You're all the worst. You're welcome.
It's weird thinking back on it, because I think that since that episode, I've really figured out a lot more about who Stavios actually is and how they interact with people, which I mean, of course, like, our characters have been traveling together for, I don't know how long actually in game, but we've all known each other for a lot longer now. So it's really interesting to remember and hear day one Stavios, because I feel like there's not like a radically different change, but I feel like there's a lot more consistency now compared to those first few episodes that I had like signed on to do.
Well, we also have backstory context for Stavios now, and I don't know if you had that completely figured out when you first started, or if that's developed more as we've played. You know, that's between you and Brianna. But like, we as the players and Anima and Vi have more context as to why Stavios is the way they are. So I feel like that makes it easier.
Yeah.
We can have more like empathy and you know, they're not just some spoiled brat who's here and won't eat veggies.
Yeah. Gave us a list of allergens that were like, are you sure you're allergic to this?
Yeah. And Stavios' entrance to the crew turned Nell from just background character AI to chaotic instigator.
Yeah.
Who has her own very mischievous personality, which is a lot of fun for me, because then I get to interject as Nell. Especially with here are the things that they are actually allergic to. I think the rest are just personal preferences. We had some parts of Stavios' backstory figured out, like the fact that they were disinherited, why they were disinherited. They don't get along with their dad, but they do very much get along with their mom. There were a lot of details that we didn't really have nailed down until we did that solo session, where I put Stavios through a very, very bad time. Dear listeners, I did run this by Shan first. I asked and made sure that they were cool with it. This is not something that I randomly spring on people. I check first. Because when you check first, then you can do more trauma. And the player's okay with it. They lean into it.
Always ask consent before traumatizing someone.
I traumatize the characters, not the players. Mostly.
We'll see.
I'm not sure if I'm not sure if Casey has completely forgiven me for what I've done to Anima.
No, it's fine. I knew what I was getting. When I gave you a character with amnesia, I knew what I was getting into for the most part. Which is weird to say because Anima is the first character I ever built. But I think as I've gotten more experience building characters through like Annabelle and Cassandra of Veron, Tempest Multi, and some of the other games that we've played, I feel like I've gotten more comfortable fleshing out a backstory. But I did know that giving you a character with amnesia was going to be a bad time for that character.
How I handled that, and how I think I will probably continue to handle that, is what kind of person your character is. That's your choice. You get to shape that. What they've been through and why they can't remember things, that's mine. I get to play with that, which is fun. Back to the trip down memory lane. Yeah, there was that awkward hi, hello, why are you here? You should leave. No, I think you should leave. I knew I needed to give you all something to bond over, otherwise you were going to just leave the two of them there.
Yeah.
So, Sinfrith happened, which was fun. I gave you all a mutual person to dislike.
I mean, you say that assuming Vi cannot dislike multiple people at once.
Oh, there are multiple people you all dislike. I was just like, I need to give you like a common enemy and a common goal. Just something to bond over and work together with. So yeah, you got a chance to ruin Sinfrith's day and get your stuff back.
I don't think we just ruined his day. If I remember correctly, we ruined his life with some forbidden literature.
Yeah. I think he's
Yeah.
going away.
There's
for a
not
long
much
time.
literature that's forbidden, but he certainly had some.
Yep.
You know what? Stavios still sleeps like a baby.
Well, not anymore, but
Well,
Over that.
but
That's not why
the
they're
reason.
not.
If they could sleep.
Yeah. That's not what's keeping them awake.
that does not cause them to lose any sleep at all whatsoever, but there are other reasons. Yeah, and then we had the thing with the basilisk. Going to find that long-lost ship. Which is also where we had one of our first guest spots, and unfortunately Shan had to miss, which was sad because I would love to have seen how Stavios and Kai would have interacted.
Yeah, that would have been fun. But it's okay. Maybe another time.
Shout out to TT Benjamin for rolling with the random information I gave him for a character, and then the fact that the party immediately tried to kill him.
Look, Kai has, I think we actually made it canon that Kai has had knives thrown at him before. I think Vi was like, he can at least handle one.
Yeah, got a knife chucked at him before I realized the easiest way to keep you all from murdering the person who stuck up on you immediately was to have Vi know this person.
Yeah.
So that's why I decided to have Kai be an old contact of yours, so maybe they would survive that initial meeting. And Ben just took that character and ran with it, and it was
Oh my
really
gosh.
funny.
Yeah.
Going up to Anima, I've hated you for so long.
What? I don't know you.
Yeah. And Anima standing behind
Yeah.
Vi. Like,
Straight
protect me,
up.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah, the very, very tall, beefy person standing behind the skinny, stabby person was very funny. But you were able to rescue the basilisk, alright? You recovered it, and you made a new little robot friend.
Yep. Who was later given away. Still slightly sad about that.
Yeah, that also did lead to the interesting revelation that Vi has new abilities.
Yeah, that's true. That was nice.
Yeah, so we got the first hints that Vi is a cybermancer.
Yes.
Something that she's always had the potential for, but never really developed until she was closer to the Crucibles.
That's gonna be fun.
Took y'all a while to get off of the planet, and on that planet we also had some interesting backstory reveals for Anima. She started to remember the last place she and Dottie ever worked. which was Nova Station. What were your thoughts when I first dropped that? Like, what were the theories you all had?
Oh God.
I know that's been like forever ago, and we've learned a lot more since then, but when you first realized that like this super secret, it's almost kind of like how DARPA is portrayed, but a little bit less shady than DARPA tends to be portrayed in the sort of sci-fi fantasy shows.
I don't think I had any theories, because I think I was mostly thinking about how it looks like the Basilisk was actually on its way to the Federation, or what the Federation is now. That, I think, to me, had more of my stuff than Anima's, just because, like, I knew the kind of person Anima was. So that doesn't usually change drastically, even though she did lose her memories. So Vi was concentrating on that, on the Federation stuff a bit more, but was, I think, trying to get more information about Nova Station to help Anima.
If I remember correctly, my thoughts were super secretive organization. There's definitely shady shit going on.
There certainly was, just not what you thought it would be.
Other than that, I don't really remember if I had any specific theories about what actually happened. I definitely wasn't predicting what did happen.
I had fun with that. I have the Trello pulled up where I keep all of my stuff organized, and I'm just like scrolling through the episodes. So after that, after the sort of rain check, which was just before you left the planet where you found the Basilisk, the following 2 episodes were the first time we met the cleanup crew.
Oh.
Oh.
It's Trauma Troop.
God, gotta love them.
Yeah, so it was the dockside job.
Oh my God.
That very first job that we saw where Neldo almost immediately went and got you in trouble with weapon smugglers.
Neldo.
Yeah.
I love Stavias, but I do think when I think of like what I want my legacy to be and who I want to represent me when I'm gone out of this world, it's that moment where Neldo's whole body, I don't know, Neldo being gross and being weird the entire time and not being a being that fits in anywhere. I love it, and every time I go back and think about and remember all of the bits, it's so fun. I miss the cleanup crew. We need to do another cleanup crew episode soon, because I also think that we 3 as like trio we really hit something with those cleanup crew episodes. I think we're really funny.
After we got to meet the chaotic mess that is the cleanup crew, who we will absolutely be seeing more of, that was just a random one-off. So I have a weird idea thing that we have stuck with because it's too much fun not to.
At some point, we have to get into Eileen's backstory because I came up with some shit, you guys.
Oh, you did! You came up with some shit, and we still have the mystery of where did Neldo's arm go.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot about Neldo's arm.
Me too. What
But the
happened?
head chair's still alive.
Yeah.
And in the ship.
It's been a long while since we did a cleanup crew episode.
That was the second one with the smugglers where their arm got chopped off and then teleported
yeah.
away, yeah. We still don't know who has that.
Terrifying.
I'm picturing like a James Cameron Alien situation, and my arm is going to destroy that crew and make more Neldos. But that's just because I really like horror movies.
I've noticed.
I mean, I could see a second Neldo being made. I could see that. And that would be a lot.
It's certainly going to lead to something.
Neldo, but tiny, because it was just the arm.
Oh.
Small Neldo.
Aww.
That could be adorable. Or
That's
The
terrifying.
nastiest baby you've ever seen.
Neldo immediately adopts them. This is my
Maybe not
child.
a baby, but just like a mini me.
Yeah, this is my mini-me. This is my spawn.
It's just resized Neldo, like literally
Yeah.
same proportions,
Yeah.
everything.
Just with only the matter of the arm.
Amazing. It was between the Basilisk Rendezvous adventure and when you went to Peltivaria that we had Stavios learning just a little bit more about Vi and Anima after they went snooping around somewhere. So we got a little bit of the truth coming out and a little bit of learning to trust each other.
I'd say trust was a stretch for Vi, but
And Vi,
accept
that's
Stavios'
Vi.
existence in life.
As your best friend, I know, it's crazy. In Stavios' mind, Vi and Stavios have been best friends this whole time.
Eventually, probably. Not right now.
You have come a very long way since
Yes.
then, but that was... We saw Vi choosing to trust Stavios, Anima choosing to trust, and Spectra telling Stavios a little bit about her mission to the Federation with the understanding of, please don't blast this information around, and I'm not going to answer a lot of questions about their experience talking about Vi and Anima, because that's not my story to tell. So that was a fun revelation, and then we got to Peltavaria, which was gonna be a nice little place where Spectra had a meeting to go to, and y'all were just gonna, like, hang out and potentially find Anima's family. Because that was another reason you all had gone there, was because you heard that the Marvalas, your family, were going to be there. Because Spirita sent you a random text of her pushing up the back of some dude's shirt saying, "Is this your clan mark? Is your last name Marvala?"
Stan Farida.
Yeah, very much a Farida thing.
Yeah. Victor specifically told me that that's how he wanted that to happen. So that's how it happened.
Stan Farida.
We're like Farida.
Please leave my cousin alone.
Yeah.
Don't sexually harass family, please.
You started to remember your family and the fact that you did have a family that you were very close to, and the fact that your family almost immediately got hired by Donnie's group in the Enigma Horizon to be their security. So you got to spend more time, and that wasn't specifically because they chose you. It's just one of those happy coincidences of, yay, we get to spend more time together. But you also didn't have a whole lot of time to think about that, because within like 20 minutes of disembarking from the ship, Stavios immediately got you pulled into a criminal plot to steal the Hyperlance.
Yep. Vi's like, you
And
were
I
left
don't regret
alone
it.
for like a minute.
We left you alone
Listen,
Yeah.
for 10 seconds.
I'm just a young buck out for adventure. And it fell into my lap, almost literally.
We decided Stavios is what, in their 20s, 30s?
Yeah, I was thinking like mid to like, I was thinking like 25 to 27.
Yeah, which is very young for Eldor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eldora, what is it?
Stavios is a
300 or
child.
500?
I think
Two or
it's
three?
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cash for
Okay,
5.
yeah.
Well, when I say 25 to 27, I mean like the Eldori version of that. Basically, like still in the Eldori version of their 20s, where they're still kind of a disaster. And it's like compounded on the fact that Stavios is also a spoiled rich child who has been cut off. So it's a recipe for disaster, gang. I don't know what to tell you. The only thing I was thinking in that moment was, I gotta see where this takes me, and it took me into a criminal plot that also implicated all of you.
Yeah, it also had you running into an old flame that you were able to just completely win over with your Esper abilities, so they've completely forgotten all the reasons that they're mad at you.
It felt very Jean Grey from X-Men. It was very much like you just like me, and that's okay. Until I'm gone, and then this wears off. Then I've got to be away from you.
And Vi was like, do you want me to deal with him?
No,
And you were
it's
like,
fine.
nah, it's fine. Uh-huh.
It's fine. It's
Mhm.
fine.
I'm sure it's fine.
This isn't going to have any complications or implications at all whatsoever. What do you mean?
It's fine. This is fine. It's all fine. Everything's fine.
It's okay. Nothing's happened yet.
Stavios didn't die. Vi got to snipe some mercs and kind of sort of make a new friend with Rona. And you were able to essentially have to, like, emergency leave with the Hyperlance before you were scheduled to, and eventually found out why traveling outside of the normal schedule through the rift is bad.
Yeah.
Because people have figured out when it's safe to pass through.
Cat's like, what is that? What is that? What is that?
Yeah, so you went and got into the rift and very quickly found out that there's a lot of weird stuff in there. You were very much a skeleton crew. And that's where we ran into our second guest. Shout out to Avery from Beyond the Furthest Stars. You should go check that show out. Yeah, we got to meet one of Anima's dads. Avery has been a fan of the show for a while, and they're a big fan of Anima specifically. So when this was coming up, I was like, hey, how would you like to play one of Anima's family members?
Yeah, shout out to Avery, #1 Anima stan. Love ya.
Also, excellent job with the dad jokes.
Absolutely.
Stavios loved them.
So had some unexpected bonding experiences there, and it did get quite a bit emotional when Anima was telling Otis, yeah, it was Otis, Route was not on the ship, they were talking to Route, telling Otis a little bit about what she had been through and saying, whatever you do not try and find this place. Don't go poking around.
Don't do this, please. For the love of God.
This is a bad place.
Don't do it. You will get captured. At least. Don't. Be happy she's out of there. Do not go there yourselves, please. They do not treat Ashenforged well. At all.
If you're not a human, they don't treat you well.
No, but they would probably treat what they would consider a sentient Ashengard. They would probably have experiments. It would not be fun.
Oh, most definitely.
It would be bad.
Oh, most definitely. Anima, it took a lot of work for you to avoid that. There is a certain individual back in the Federation that was very upset when they thought you had died. Either you or Vi or Farida, we're not really sure who. There's someone who's very upset until they recognized someone else on the crew dossier for the Jaeger.
Yeah.
We still don't know who exactly that person is or what they're up to, but I can tell you it's not good.
No.
Yeah, still waiting on the fallout on the Federation side from their quote-unquote investigation into the Jaeger explosion.
Oh, it's coming. I only briefly forgot about that scheduling, but it's coming. You also all almost died very horribly, but were able to escape just before whatever that thing was just obliterated your ship like it did the fleet that you found and recorded the records of.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. And then we did a little game where we got to meet the rest of Anima's family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very sweet. And we totally forgot about one of your siblings.
Whoops.
We totally forgot about...
Yeah.
Was it like Zara? Something like that.
I have the names.
We forgot about the engineer.
I have the names somewhere in my stack of notebooks, but it's over there. And No. I'm not gonna look for that right now.
They're still alive somewhere.
They're
Yeah,
fine.
they're
We forgot about them.
Yeah. And Liberty was also off doing something, but that was very fun, very sweet. And then we dropped the episode of Cleanup Crew, which was the smuggler job, where Neldo ate someone's feet and someone's hands.
Yum yum.
Didn't I blow somebody's head to
That was so funny.
bits too? Didn't Eileen do that as well?
You did blow one of the smugglers' heads off before the other one's like, not paid enough for this? I give up. Whatever you want. I'm out. I'm done. Just don't let that thing eat me, pointing to the puddle of goo on the floor that was Neldo.
Yeah.
Isn't it true, like, in the fiction of aboard the Opal Star. Isn't cleanup crew like some kind of like piece
It's
of
a
media?
comic book series.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Mhm.
I think that's really fun. Who do we each think our character's favorite cleanup crew character is?
Ooh,
That's
a
an
good
excellent question.
I think Stavios hates Neldo.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Stavios hates horror and hates how weird Neldo is, but loves Eileen.
I don't know if Vi has a favorite character. She definitely would appreciate Neldo's ability to go from like 0 to 100 in terms of like violence.
I also don't think Anima loves Neldo. I don't think Anima's much of a horror person. I think probably her favorite is every time, Alexis, your character's name.
Malaya.
Malaya. I think her favorite is Malaya because Anima's protective and Malaya's like a little baby who needs to be protected because she's just
Sort of, yeah.
cursed.
Yep, very cursed.
But yeah, very,
Um,
very cursed.
Mm-hmm.
I think, especially with the blowing off the head, Eileen can be a little violent for Anima to be Anima's favorite. Not that Anima's not, but that's not necessarily her first instinct. Is the head explosion?
Yeah. No. I think Emma would appreciate Malaya just keeping the hedge hair like safe as opposed to just like get rid of it. No.
The smuggler job was also the episode where we found out that Neldo is fluent in door.
Listen, Neldo is a thing of many talents, a renaissance thing, if you will. They're fluent in door, they're fluent in stool, they're fluent in countertop. You're going to be hard-pressed to find an inanimate object that this nasty piece of slime can't talk to.
Because that's not vaguely unsettling. Imagine the secrets you can learn.
We talk about being a fly on a wall. What about a countertop in a room, huh?
Oh yeah. Oof.
What about being the wall, huh?
I could see Neldo in like this one paperweight just like having an argument. And all we see is just maybe the paperweight vibrating a bit, but other than that, just Neldo yelling at it.
I think it should be absolutely still. It's an inanimate paperweight.
Okay.
It shouldn't have any consciousness, but Neldo, by speaking to, it's like Neldo's a quantum event that has activated this thing's consciousness.
Neldo is a fascinating individual.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to find out what they are.
Yeah, me too. I don't really know yet. I haven't figured anything out yet. So after we had that shenanigans, which ended with you, the three, rescuing the pretty blue fox and then take it elsewhere, and there's some sort of smuggling operation that you're going to be looking into later. You're not sure why they wanted to be on 9, but we'll figure that out eventually. And then we went back to the escort mission, which is the Opal Star is helping to escort the Goliath, which was it's basically the ship by the company that is helped rescue the Basilisk and is taking it to Nova Station. So that was pretty fun. Supposed to be a non-eventful job. Until someone caught that something had been following them and hadn't been able to get any information. Spectre's like, hey, I have an idea. Hey, Malachi, just don't worry about what's going to happen. We'll catch up later. And decided to pull the ghost ship gambit, which would have been fine, except for you were wrong about what they were after. Which this also partially happened because Shan had life stuff and needed to step back a bit. We had talked about me having Stavios get kidnapped, so that is how we ended up with Stavios getting kidnapped off the Opal Star. Which everyone took very personally.
Mm-hmm.
Shan, you were talking about how there were no consequences for what you did to Leto. Because it's not like Leto would have mentioned to someone who could have fed back to Stavios' father that they had met them and believed that they went on the Hyperlance through the rift to Pelsardos.
maybe, you know what? No, still no regrets. Because I don't think in fiction Stavios has that in their head that, oh, that was probably how this all happened. Right now, Stavios is 100% focused on killing their dad.
Yep. They are
Doesn't
planning
even
to
matter how
buy.
the dad got there, how the dad kidnapped anybody. It's like, I'm gonna kill my dad.
Yeah, Stavroach is the worst. Just the worst.
Yeah.
But before we got to what happened to Stavios, we went to visit the Nova Station outpost, and that was perhaps one of the most cursed sessions I've ever run.
Yeah. That whole scene. Yep.
We got 15 minutes in,
Mm-hmm.
and then there were internet issues.
Yep.
So we decided to try again, picking up after that. Got 30 minutes in, and then I think it was Casey's power went out.
Yeah.
So we decided to try again, and then finally got through the end of it, which is where we were able to piece together a lot of what happened to Anima. And Casey, you want to talk some about that? What happened before you and Dottie disappeared? You thought you were working for Nova Station.
Yeah.
And you had been contacted to work for Nova Station.
Yeah.
But the people who picked you up
We're not
We're
Nova
not Nova
Station. Whoops-a-doops. Aside from the technical issues, that was an interesting session to go into because I was like, I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna get answers. We're gonna expose that Nova Station is doing some sketchy stuff behind the scenes of this supposedly maybe not trustworthy but trusted organization to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
Except that's not what happened.
Yep.
Nope, not at all.
I got blindsided.
Yep.
There was also the let's get this over with quickly because we've got a missing crew member. Hello?
Yeah.
Should this be the focus at the moment?
This is what you were doing while you had a giant network of people tracing every lead that they could to find where Stavios went.
I know, but there was kind of a split attention going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I could definitely see Anima being guilty if she is not, personally assisting in locating Stavios, even though
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she knew that, Vi had people looking,
Yeah.
Spectre had people
I mean,
Looking, Talia had
I
people
knew
looking.
we had people looking, but she herself was not looking, and that was... Of
Yeah.
course, there's also the compound factor of we let Stavios guard that floor alone.
Yeah.
I should have
Yeah, we
been there.
We never should leave Stavios unattended, is I think the lesson that has been learned.
Over and over again.
Yeah.
Once again, we've left Stavios alone. Stavios got into trouble. I should know better by now. So there was kind of a this is sort of my fault for allowing this to happen. It kind of running in the background. So I was trying to this Nova Station bullshit out of the way. We've got people to find. That's also kind of a thing with Anima's characters, that she's not necessarily someone who is self-focused in that way.
Those questions could also help you find what's happened to Dottie, because you still don't know what exactly has happened with Dottie.
At that point, yes. Well, still, exactly. But, there was a pressing concern, and, a concern that happened, half a decade ago.
Fair.
On the one hand, Dottie's very important to Anima, but on the other hand, this is the thing that happened 15 minutes ago, and is maybe directly her fault because she wasn't there to protect them. I'm not saying that's correct, I'm saying that's how Anima feels.
Fair and valid, though I will add the context of when Talia's like, I found them. I found Stavios. That was about 6 hours after they'd been kidnapped. So it wasn't too long. It just also took you all a while to get there. Speaking of when Stavios was kidnapped, Shannon and I did a little side session looking at what happened with that, which was a lot of fun.
It really was. I'm a big I mean, y'all at this point know I love to do the roleplay stuff. I can just sit during a session and just do convos back and forth with each other. I love doing that so much. So getting to like do this really dark, in my opinion, exploration of the like, and kind of taken to the extreme sort of power dynamic that Stavios' father, Stavros, really wants to have with Stavios was really fun. Because I think in that little session, in like obviously in extreme ways, what happens is it's really messed up. So getting to play that out and getting to show everyone that's listening, this is why Stavios has like turned their back on their family pretty much, and turned their back on this person that they were getting kind of pushed into being until they left, was really fun. It's also just fun, I don't know, getting to like dive into, I think, two very important aspects of who Stavios is.
Yeah, who they were before we got to meet them, because, well, we did briefly meet Stavios not long after they were disinherited, but then we got to see them again. Like, this was like 7 or 8 years ago. It's been a while since all those events happened, and also the memories that you were reliving happened over a span of probably like at least 2 years.
Yeah, and it was such a pivotal moment, because I think Stavios, at least the way that I have been conceiving them as I've been playing them, Stavios is this person who cares a lot but doesn't necessarily know how to care about things in a way that makes sense to a lot of people. If Stavios likes somebody, then Stavios is going to be incredibly overt and kind of annoying about it, because Stavios grew up with a dad that literally has the capacity to kidnap and psychologically torture them for who knows how long, because Stavios still doesn't. And, also a lot of fighting back against the things that Stavios grew up hearing and feeling. Like, thank God for Stavios' mom. Thank God for the love of Stavios' life, because those two are the only ones that kind of made sure that Stavios wasn't going to grow into their dad. Which I think that like little session that we did really shows that in a fun way. And I'm really glad we got to do it.
Yeah, we got to explore a lot about Fulminara and Stavios' mom, who I know we named her, but I cannot remember what we named her. I can't remember
her name either.
I'm sure we will meet her eventually when Stavios finally calls their mom.
Stavios has to do really bad things before talking to their mom. They have to kill their dad.
It might take a bit before you get to have revenge on your dad, but yeah, I had a lot of fun with that session. Just both, like, as the mercenary that was talking to Stavios, and just getting to explore those parts of their background, and then the twist I threw in the end with, you don't hear the gunshot, but next thing you know, you're walking back into the cafeteria. And that time, you were poisoned. So you relived your love story multiple times. Each time the person you love most in the world killed you in a different way.
Yeah, and it was so, I remember doing it and then being like, because I felt like in the moment Stavios would and I think we ran into that a little bit too, which I thought was fun during the rescue, where Stavios is just refusing to let this kind of fake reality that they know in their heart of hearts is fake, but they're starting to lose hope that they're ever going to get to leave. So it was just this kind of fun, I don't know, it was just a really fun character moment to play. And I had it's been a while since I've gotten to do something that fun, so honestly, I'm really grateful to you for planning it and setting it up, because it was really, really fun. I had a great time.
Yeah, I was just I have a terrible idea. I have a really bad idea, because I'm pretty sure we know, your dad is the one behind this. And I'm pretty sure I know what he would have paid to have done. But that doesn't necessarily have to be what happens before you get rescued. If you weren't super comfortable with it, I could have had them rescue you before you got plugged into the simulation. But you were cool with it, so we went with it.
And, I think the simulation's really important because it shows that Stavios' dad, at, like, the base level, is a guy that only cares about a specific kind of control that he can have over, like, another person, and especially a member of his family. So I thought the simulation would be great because it's like, this is what Stavios' dad thinks Stavios needs in order to, like, come home. And how messed up is that? You know what I mean?
That's so heinous. That's so heinous. I love it.
So that is a really fun theory, but I will remind you that Stavios was found floating in an escape pod. There's no proof that anyone was coming to pick up said escape pod that Stavios was in, so your dad very well could have paid them to plug you into that simulation and just leave you drifting in space.
Listen, rich people are capable of anything. I firmly believe that Stavios had some kind of, that there was on that escape pod, there was probably something that Stavios' dad was just like, I'll come back in like 2 weeks when Stavios is like near dead, totally hungry. So then it's even like beyond just the psychological need for it to be over. There is then the physical need of, like, eating, drinking some water. But also, who knows?
Yeah.
Because I was wondering about the escape pod myself, but I knew Stavios would probably not have the answers, and trying to just sort of dig into their trauma would not be helpful. So she was just sort of like, well,
You did kind of have to dig through some of their trauma when you went into the sim dive to find which iteration that they were on. So you got to see pieces of their story, including the fact that the person that they're in love with is Lorendi.
Which
I had fun with that twist. That was also long after I decided that, because like in the book, the Lorendi are kind of described as evil, but I was like, no. I mean, there are some like misunderstandings. There are also some Lorendi who think that the Lorendi Imperium should take over, but for the most part, the Imperium's like, no, we're cool with just like finding ways to be friends. Yes, we're very different. There's a lot we need to understand about each other, but why would we want to invade? That's unnecessary.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of negotiations that are like almost done, just fine-tuning some details. That's not necessary.
Yeah, I think, and this is more like a thing with role-playing games in general, I think that the idea that a race is always chaotic evil is dumb and boring.
Agreed.
I think it's more fun if there's a variety with any group of people, because that's how people are. They might have different values, but they're not all necessarily like, rah, we're gonna kill you immediately. That's just...
Exactly.
That's boring. That's so boring.
Oh, it is very boring. It's just like, oh, you're a drow, you're evil. Not necessarily. It's just more interesting to have variety.
I think that games that have like a very strict morality baked in, to me, I don't think it really makes sense, because it's almost kind of monoculturizing every single like race and culture of people in that entire universe, because morality is subjective. Therefore, like, if you have, like, if we talk about D&D, if you've got a group of demons that were born in the 9 hells, what they think is like good and what they think is morally correct is just going to be like insanely different than what Feldara, who was a high elf born in some like light dimension somewhere else. And I just think that it makes it a lot harder to tell really interesting stories when you have to like sit there and be like, okay, well, this group is totally evil because they do this really evil thing, despite the fact that that evil thing is something that's baked into their culture for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years. And maybe it is a really evil thing.
Agreed.
But anyways, I could talk about it for literal hours.
Yeah, this is kind of a tangent that we've gone on, but like, here's the thing. What is the categorization for this is chaotic evil and this is lawful good? Because that is dependent on culture. Like, what's the judgment?
Yeah.
Because to this culture, beheading, let's say someone who committed treason, in this culture, that's perfectly acceptable. In another culture, that's not acceptable. Like, so they would consider it, evil and barbaric, and they consider it, completely necessary and a good thing. So in the first culture, beheading, someone is a lawful good thing. And in this other culture, it's a chaotic evil thing, or a lawful evil thing. It's so subjective, and that's kind of the problem I have with a morality system like that.
Who's right?
How is that decided? How is that decided? Who decides that?
It kind of plays into, I'm a big fan of the line of history is written by the victors.
Yeah.
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 It also reminds me a lot, and this is this is the last I'm going to say of it, just because I know that we have other questions or other things to get through. But
yeah.
It reminds me of how I feel about like the Star Trek universe, because the Star Trek universe, it's very much a European colonialist perfect future. Because it's like everyone, like the Federation,
Yeah.
they do a lot of great
Yeah.
things, but it's also like culture is so homogenized, and when you join the Federation, you have to adhere by the Federation's strict morality. It makes sense that the Ferengi hate the Federation. But anyways, that's all I have to say.
We went on a tangent. Please
Yeah,
continue with the questions about the show that we're actually supposed to be talking about, and not a critique of morality in tabletop role playing games. Are we thinking too much about it, or is it actually a flaw? You decide.
So, listeners, if you've skipped through the past few minutes of us talking about how purely evil and purely good things are boring, consider making more interesting stories. Moving on. How did you all like rescuing Stavios from the sim dive? How did you enjoy that session?
I was so uncomfortable. I felt so bad.
Yeah, it was like in the beginning, I think Vi was in more just information gathering mode. But yeah, especially when it got to the emotional conversation with Stavios and I don't remember the other person. Pulmonara. Oh, Pulmonara. Sorry. At that point, she was uncomfortable because she was kind of stuck, because on one hand, it's like, this information could be useful, but also this is a definitely private conversation. Is this gonna head in like a betrayal way, or is it just...
Do I need to stay and watch this, or do I need to rush and find the dancing monkey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is information that we should not be partial to about this person's life. They did not choose to impart this to us.
Yeah.
Real good question is, how did all that information get plugged into the simulation, though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. True.
Didn't think about that.
Oof.
But I, as the player, Casey, assumed that it was modeled off of Stavios' own, like, brainwaves and memory.
Yeah.
That was my assumption on how that worked. Whether or not that's true is up to Brianna, but that was my assumption.
That is probably part of it, but one of the things that I think Stavios noticed looking back is some of the, like, there were some details that were missing, some pieces that got skipped over, like, it wasn't quite the full thing. In your head, it felt like it was the full thing, but it wasn't quite the full thing.
That's
Okay.
interesting. But, oh, that was so we needed to do it to get them out of this situation, but also they didn't consent for us to know this information about them, and that's uncomfy. That's an uncomfortable place to be, both for them and for us.
Yeah.
It was it was one of those necessary but not necessarily comfortable things, and that happens.
Yeah, my apologies for the discomfort. That was one of those hindsight things.
No, see, it was one of those things that was necessary. I feel it was necessary. I feel like it's not something I would ever object to necessarily in a game. It was just, it's sort of an interesting moral question again. And I think we tried, Alexis, you can maybe weigh on it. I think we tried to get through it as quickly as possible so that we can, keep as many of their secrets to themselves as we could.
I think for me it was like it was a bit uncomfortable because like I felt that like the characters in Stavios weren't close enough to sort of get a read on would they be okay with sharing this or not, or if they just hadn't gotten a chance to tell us. Yeah, it was a bit uncomfortable, even though like one of I's thing is getting secrets. She also has her own, so yeah, she just knowing everything about Stavios, no, like she understands that people do want privacy, because her own is very important to her. Yeah, it was, I'd say, uncomfortable but necessary, especially like in that situation, like trying to bring someone out of it without sort of telling their consciousness, sort of, or the...
Yeah, you had to find the iteration of the simulation that Stavios was on.
Yeah, like I get that, and yeah, I wouldn't object to it as a player. Now, Vi, that's a whole different thing, but
I wouldn't do that to Vi.
Oh yeah, no, Vi would. Oh boy. That's a tangent,
I
though.
would have a full mental breakdown.
Yeah, that rescue part, I also ran that by Shan.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, see, and
That's good.
That makes it more okay knowing that player was
Yeah.
cool with that being what needed to happen. It doesn't necessarily make it less uncomfortable for the characters, but it definitely makes it better for as a player.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you all know at any time, if you don't like a direction something is going, you can let me know and it will no longer be going and have never gone in that direction.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to shift things around if it's... Yeah, absolutely.
And that's always a good thing to have, to know.
Yeah.
Safety tools are important.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you don't think so, tell better stories.
Or just go away.
Get good.
Yeah.
I loved every bit of it. There was never a moment where I wasn't thrumming with excitement. I mean, because I also GM. Like, this is one of the few times in my life where I've actually been a player for anything. So I get really excited when any character is put through something bad, as long as it's discussed. Like, I don't like, because it's also like my big thing at my tables, and it was why I really appreciated like the discussion that Bree wanted to have throughout the entire situation. I love when we can all kind of sort of collectively contribute gleefully in a character's suffering, if that makes sense. To me, when your character suffers, it's going to open up the door for so many beautiful moments, which I think this really did. Like that final moment when we're fighting the evil clone of Fulminara, who then gets my dad's face. I thought that was... I got really excited and really into it. And everything that we've done since then has also been really nice. I truly think that all of our characters have really bonded in a really beautiful way that I've enjoyed playing a lot. Like, I love how the dynamic that we all have after this is different, because me as a storyteller who does it professionally, that's so true and that's so real, and it's been feeling really true and real, and that's what's been so fun about the sessions that we've had recently, because now I'm super comfortable as Stavios, and now Stavios is also, you know, for better or for worse, kind of forced to trust everyone because now everyone knows so much about them.
But they aren't using that against you.
And they aren't using, and
Yeah.
that's the big thing. Like, everyone knows all this stuff, but no one's, like, grilled Stavios. No one has made Stavios feel any type of way about what's happened. So I think that that's been, when Stavios looks back on this in like 100 years, they're going to be like, oh God, thank God my friends were there. Because if they had been anything but the way that they were, it would have been really bad. I would have gone down a really bad. I mean, I'm on a murder quest right now, but
It's fine. It's fine.
well, actually, no.
You have
I hope it
an
doesn't take a
assassin
whole
with
century
you.
to kill my dad.
If it has to, it has. Like, I think Vi told you, like, this may take a bit, but we'll get there.
I would have to respectfully bow out of that.
Yeah.
I won't live that long.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't like remembering that Ashen Forge don't live that long. It's like, no, Anima,
I
no.
picked the shortest lived race.
Yep.
Yeah. After we rescued our Chaos Gremlin and got them some therapy, Tali's just
Yeah.
like, can you keep a secret? And holding this big wriggling bag. It turns out the ship has a cat.
That Nell knows about and is like, it's fine. The cat is
It
fine.
loved that.
That was so fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
because it's just like Tally, like I'm sure more people know about this cat. It's a cat. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Like, if you ask Nell or if you ask, I don't know anybody else, I'm sure they all are just, yeah, no, we know there's a cat. Tally doesn't want us to say there's a cat,
Tally's cat.
but we
it's
know
fine.
there's a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most open secret on the Opal Star is by
Yeah.
Jane.
Yeah. It's just like, we know, but she just wants to keep it a secret, even though it's, I think we made it Spectre's cat somehow.
Yeah, Spectre's just like, oh, that's where my cats went.
It's like, yeah. So you're, okay.
Everyone's just like, let Tally have the secret cat.
Yeah.
And I love
Yeah.
that for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spectre and Tally have been besties for like 15 years. Spectre doesn't care. Spectre's just like, if it makes you happy, yes. Which, y'all weren't part of this, but we did get to see a little bit of what was going on at Beacon Station in the Halloween special that I did, following the 3 crews who went in to secure the station and rescue the people who were being held there. And God, I had fun with that. If you haven't listened to Liberation of Beacon Station, go listen to it. Some of the episodes are really long, but I had so much fun with that. Because it was a look into what was going on there. What was going on and what Tally helped expose. Editing that took forever, but that was a lot of fun. But speaking of creepy space stations, we got to see the station where Anna remembered being. How'd y'all like that? We have any favorite moments for that, or leftover questions other than what the fuck?
I mean, I like that I was able to, like, temporarily charm a robot. That was nice. I appreciated that. Yeah, it was definitely strange, especially, and I know this was intentional, like, having Anima remember at the end of it, and then just at the beginning of the next session, just her destroying shit, and it's like, Anima? What? What just happened? Anima, stop, you're gonna break the station.
So,
Yeah. That was fun. I also, like, lots of very spooky vibes of what is in
Yeah.
here, what happened here with the explosion in the crew quarter that, like, blew everything outwards and would have killed everyone,
Yeah.
but you weren't actually there. You should have been there. You were supposed to be there, but you weren't there. You were in the lab.
Yeah.
And you started remembering the pieces as you saw it, but there was still, like, that, it's like a block. There's just this, like, it's almost like a black box in your head that you can't really, like, see into the specifics.
whoopsie poopsies. If you do, you take psychic damage.
No, it's if you try and talk about the thing that's inside of the box.
No, I pushed into the box and I took psychic damage.
True. And then you tried to talk about it and you took a lot of psychic damage because the dice had a point that they wanted to get across.
So I was like, no.
What was it, 20? It was 2d12 and it was...
24. I got
24,
I got
yeah.
12s on both dice.
Yeah.
So for Casey and Alexis, because you two were there for the recording where Anima had all the memories came back. What was that like for the two of you? Just as people.
That was neat. And then when you had me deafen and then tell Casey more, at first I was watching like Casey's reaction. I was trying not to I wasn't lip reading. I'm not very good at that. But I was just like watching Casey's reactions and I was like, oh boy, I'm just gonna not pay attention for a minute because apparently shit's going down.
Yeah. Not gonna lie. The I had to roll a wisdom check just before you tried to open the door into the box. If you had rolled higher, you would have realized maybe I shouldn't touch that. Maybe let's leave that secret for now.
Look.
But you rolled really poorly.
Yeah.
Because the dice had a story to tell, and now Anima knows something she wishes she didn't know, and that she is physically incapable of talking about or even talking around it.
Anima do be himbo. That's just what it is. Himbo anima moment. Always. Every time.
But now you do remember a little bit more about who is the reason behind what happened to you, and why you've been hearing, you realize now it's Dottie's words echoing in your head of don't let him find you. Which I've been building up to that for a while, and that's been fun.
It's been exciting. It's been lots of fun to go from something that's been kind of like a Stavios heavy moment to then getting to dive into Anima, it's really cool being there as the pieces steadily start falling into place in some areas, but then as they do, you realize there's even more pieces that we still need, and it's really fun. It's a really fun mystery to get to be part of in a way.
Yeah, I know Vi wants answers, but especially now that she's seen where it hurts Anima, it's like, I mean, I have theories we could test to try to get around it, but I don't want to hurt Anima. So it's just sort of this thing that she's now has to struggle with. It's like, there's a thing, we cannot know what it is without hurting Anima. Anima knows the thing, but cannot communicate the thing. So I guess we need to find Dottie, but Dottie has gone to ground for years. So...
yeah, kind of a little stalled in that investigation, but there are more answers out there. And speaking of that, what are we looking forward to seeing in the future as the story continues? Because I know we were excited to see the fallout in the Federation side of things from the investigation and other things that are going on. We will be seeing some of that soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, and Vi's probably going to have a reaction to that, because I know, she definitely has a theory that they're going to pin it all on her. Because she was the only one who was, not related to the military then.
Yeah, Farida was the general's daughter, but the general has also just disappeared.
Yeah, but I'm sure they can
along
cover
with,
that.
Half of their version of the CIA.
Yeah.
Because that's not going to have implications. Thanks again, Victor.
I think he planned on, that being just sort of gaslit of, oh, no, that person didn't exist. That person was never in charge here. It's fine. This is all fine. There's no Warren Bossing say. It's fine.
They absolutely planned on that being what do you mean? I've always worked here.
Yeah.
That do be how Victor be.
Yeah.
Yes. One of these days I will try and get a chance for Farida to show up again, if only briefly, so Shan can understand and Stavios can meet Farida.
Yeah, which will be interesting. Because Farida knows that Stavios sort of creeped into Vi's mind and found out about her, sort of. That was a thing.
Yeah, Stavios Farida knows who you are.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like, Stavios, I'm a big fan of you. And Farida's like, not sure about you.
What needs to happen is Stavios needs to get kidnapped again, put in a torturous loop, and then Ferida has to come in and save Stavios, and also learn everything about them, and then we'll all be really good
Oh
friends, sort
my.
of bonded together by that.
I'm not gonna have that happen to you again. I'm gonna do something different.
Something worse, something more evil.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make you suffer the
Yeah.
same way twice. I'm not gonna have you suffer the same way twice. No, next time I'm gonna be a simulation where you're just like dear old dad.
Ooh.
Ew.
I think one of the things that I'm excited about is to potentially start playing Stavios as a little darker than before, and with a little bit more of kind of a mean streak. I think the days of, at least for now, the days of a super silly Stavios they're not gone, because Stavios is always going to be just a silly person, but I think there's going to be this sort of tinge, because everything that Stavios is going to be doing now is going to be, I think it's a lot about retribution now. I think that's a lot of, like, Stavios' sort of mode is this mode of retribution, and I think it'll be exciting to see where that goes. It'll be exciting to see how that affects the relationships that Stavios has, especially because, like, people know Stavios is a very specific thing, but I think that that's gonna change now, because you can't go through something like this and then not be a completely changed person. And outside of that, I don't know. I mean, I'm just really excited about diving into everyone's respective backstories more. Like, it's been so fun learning more about Anima. I'm excited to learn more about Vi. Like, it's just gonna be really, really fun.
We will get to Vi's eventually. I just have to set that up in a specific way because I know certain reactions will probably be triggered. So, yeah.
Yeah, Vi's is gonna be, I think, a bit of a doozy, and we'll see how she reacts.
I'm excited to learn more about Anima.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I don't necessarily know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to Stavios' revenge rampage, because those can be really fun stories to explore.
I've got some ideas figured out for, like, upcoming. I need to start nailing down what details I want to add and twists that I want to put, because I want to, like, build up to some other fun backstory reveals before we hit. So I have this thing when I'm doing stories that is very much influenced by games like Mass Effect, where there's a point in the story that I call the point of no return. The point at which you kind of get shuttled to the end game, because if you don't keep going in that direction, there will be consequences. There is a point like that. And it's going to be fun. I'm very excited for it.
Now, is that a point of no return for, like, specific backstories, or just general, the overall plot?
Overall plot, but
Okay.
there are still going to be further backstory reveals. I have a little bit more to do with Stavios, and then when we get closer to the end, there will be something for Vi that will sort of feed into that in-game stuff.
Okay,
then more
yeah,
for
that
Anima.
makes sense, because...
There's still some questions in everyone's backstories that I haven't answered yet, although some of you may not know what those questions are yet, or may not realize that there is a question.
Sorry, the remainder of that I remembered what I was gonna say.
Yeah, go.
I mean, it's kind of a basic bitch example, but, like, the Briarwood arc from Critical Role was a revenge arc, and oh my god, you know? It basically is what propelled them into where they are now, I think.
Thanks for bringing that up. I have ideas now.
Oh shit, okay.
I will not be elaborating. I just have ideas now.
I mean, there was a reason they basically started there in the animated show, you know? There's a reason that's I think they had a couple of little things before then, but they basically started on the Briarwood arc.
I mean, it's such a good place to start in, because you learn so much about the characters. Do we have any theories or, like, things you want to see more of in the future?
I know at least some trauma for Vi is coming soon, because Anima and Savias had their turns, so that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, that's a word for it.
Yeah, I'm both excited and concerned, because we'll see how Vi reacts, but it's fine. This is all fine.
There's a reason I'm being intentional about how I place that.
Good. So my question is whether the sort of escape pod that Anima's on, whether it was intentionally going to the Federation, and therefore what it's about is in the Federation, or if it got diverted. Because it sounded like, and this may be metagaming a bit, that the course was already set when whatever happened to her memories happened. So
yeah, the course was set when she got into the pod. Dottie was just finishing a few things before she was gonna get in her modified little, like, tugboat shuttle thing to, like, help assist it in getting there.
Okay, so it could have gone off course. So it could be either way, basically. Alright.
It could feasibly have gone off course, but it could very well have gone exactly to its destination. Also, depending on how far it went off course, it's destined. Even if it went off course, it could have still been destined for somewhere in the Federation. You don't know for sure.
Okay, yeah, that's like it's not a full theory. It's just more of a question on my end.
It's unlikely that it went significantly off course, because the thing that happened to Anima was only in her head.
I'm guessing that I either don't remember or don't know where it was headed originally.
You probably do. You would remember the coordinates.
That might be something to investigate. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. We just haven't asked about that because we've been distracted. Because we're going to the zoo.
Yes. And show Stavias what ducks are, because I do remember that.
They just sound fake.
I mean,
A bird that swims? Come on.
there's multiple birds that swim, sir. Well,
I don't know.
swim's
I've
not
never
the right
seen
word.
one.
Look. I don't know if Vi has the bandwidth to explain, like, penguins to you, to Stavias. So maybe have, like, Stavias know all of the waterfowl except ducks. Or maybe they're stellar penguins, like interstellar penguins. They just fly in space. Or swim in space. It's fine.
Space penguins?
Yes.
Yes.
Like a space
I don't
whale,
know.
but it's the space penguin.
Yes.
We shall see when we get to the zoo. Anything else people want to bring up or talk about, or are we just going to leave it off here and pick up with the next adventure? Which I guess will be season 3?
I guess we can call it that.
There was one thing I think I wanted to talk about that I forgot when we were on the topic, sort of. With Stavias' memories, if I remember right, it's probably good that Anima and Vi were the ones to go there, because the reveal that Fulminara is Lorendi, we don't really have any biases towards them, good or bad. I mean, we saw them once, like, the Lorendi, someone who was Lorendi, like, as a mercenary. We were against them at the time, but that wasn't anything personal. That was just probably, hey, guy's doing a job and is now dead.
You have learned more about the Lorendi since then. You haven't encountered any others, but you do know more about them. You know some about the Imperium. You probably know a little bit more than some people just because you were on the same ship as Spectra and her mom is actively part of those negotiations, though you may not have fully realized that, but yeah, you know they're not all, like, evil. You might have, like, briefly heard of them as, like, the boogeyman, but now you're like, okay, yeah, no, they're just different, and they, like, grew up very different, but, I mean,
Yeah.
sure, let's be friends.
I don't even know if Vi would have even known of them as the boogeyman, sort of, because that was a while from when the people in the Federation split. Or, yeah, when the Scientist River colonists, whoever they were, like, went to the Federation from the Alliance.
The Lorendi Imperium happened not long after the big moon explosion thing,
Okay.
where the moon ended up being a crucible.
Okay.
So, if you heard anything, it might have been like brief mention
Okay,
of
yeah.
like they would have kind of sounded like the boogeyman or someone from like far off.
Okay, yeah.
That's when I was like, you're like, oh, you're real. Okay, and you're dead now.
Yeah. But like the conversation of, if I remember right, I could be making this up, with Stavias being like, yeah, the love of my life is Lorendi. Is that a problem? Or like, no? Or that, I thought it was brought up at one point that was an issue? Was that something I made up? That's possible.
I do remember specifically it's like the love of my life is in danger.
Yeah.
He's Lorendi.
We're like,
And there's probably a moment where a couple people like, oh, okay, that narrows down who I need to talk to.
yeah. And we were just like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I think, Stavios was worried that Fulminara might be in danger. So
Yeah.
Spectre's like, all right, who do I need to talk to about finding this Eldori? Oh, he's Lorendi. That
Okay.
does help narrow things down. Hey, Mom.
Yeah. Okay, we're good. Yeah, it's just like, narrows down. Awesome. Okay. But yeah, that was all I wanted to.
Everyone on the ship cares and that they want Fulminara to stay safe and the two of you to be together, but they don't actually care that he's Lorendi. It's just like, that is not an important detail. This is a person who is special to you. We'll do what we can to keep them safe.
Yeah, it's like, we know where they are now more because of that detail, but that's it. It's, yeah. Other than that, just keep them safe.
Yeah. He's now in closer proximity to Spectre's mom, even if she has not established any form of contact with him yet.
Hey, I wonder if Spectre's connected to my mom.
I think she knows your mom.
I think she's like gotten in touch with your mom, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that because even Spectre was like, talk to your mom. Call your mom.
I don't think she would have had a connection to Stavias's mom before Stavias joined the crew, but it's one of those, okay, just in case, like, she might know something, like, found her to be able to contact. I don't know if they've actually had any communications. Your dad is a very public figure. It was not hard for Spectre to find out who your mom is.
Yeah.
You're like, she pieced together who you were. She knows who your mom is. She maybe hasn't necessarily, like, reached out and communicated, but she is aware.
Okay.
Yeah, Stavias does need to talk to their mom. If only to help confirm, like, who your mom really is versus any alterations that might have been made in your memories or something like that. Just, for your, like, mental health therapy, you do need to talk to your mother. Because mental health and therapy are both wonderful things that should be taken care of.
Yeah. We'll see if Stavias is ready for that. Stavias isn't ready to be healthy yet.
Just give Vi your
I'll
mom's
get them
number. What could go wrong there? Oh yeah, we're planning an assassination attempt. Do you have any particular well no, we're planning an assassination. Do you have any particular ideas on that? Wait, what?
Honestly, Stavias's mom probably does.
Yeah, but considering you haven't really told her,
Do you have any preferences on how we kill your ex?
she'd be like, wait, what?
Yeah, she doesn't know anything. She doesn't know anything other than you have a job on the Opal Star.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I should call her and be like, hey, so I'm on a kill quest.
Yeah, specifically for
I'm
your
gonna kill
ex,
Dad
so
first.
it's fine. Oh, just first? You may want to tell the assassin you're working with if you're planning to kill more people, more than just him.
Well, right now I've also the people who
Oh,
like strapped me to that machine. They gotta go too.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. That's fair.
It was really nothing personal. And it was nothing personal that they didn't care.
Then it won't be personal when we kill them.
It's nothing personal, says someone who commits the most personal violent act against another person.
Then it won't.
That person had no idea what you were being plugged into. They were just told to find and grab this person and plug them into this specific simulation with this specific setup.
And they're gonna have no idea how much pain Stavias is capable of inflicting.
They should have reevaluated their life choices a long time ago, but we'll see how that goes in our next group of adventures in season 3. Holy crap.
Woo!
4 years into it, we're starting season 3. I do have an end game in mind for this. There is an end to this whole story arc. There is something that I am building towards. There are also some more backstory reveals to happen. There's a little bit more for Stavios, which have fun with that. And then when we hit Vise, that's when we're getting close to the point of no return bit.
That's gonna...
You know I'm heavily influenced by Mass Effect. You know what I'm talking about, Shan. The point of no return.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that is connected to her backstory stuff is like the thing before the point of no return.
Yeah, that tracks. Considering, yeah.
And then we'll have a little bit more for Anima and the endgame stuff. As well as like actually for all of you, I think. And I'm excited because I've been sitting on some of this stuff for like 4 years. Well, 3.5. I'm very excited.
Oh boy.
Maybe
Yeah.
we'll get there this decade. But yeah. Unless there's any other comments, questions, or concerns aside from what horrors I'm going to throw at you next, I think we'll wrap this up there.
My high school band
Alrighty.
teacher, his version of that was questions, comments, or philosophies.
That's fun. I like that.